Check, 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 check. Okay, fixed it. Oh, and you know what? I just want to, if I may, before we start this Schadenfreude Verzoiddoinge that we're doing today, because it's going to be so much fun. I feel like it's the kind of day where we need an addition, a special addendum to our normal revelry here. Don't say anything yet. Shut up. They're trying to do a thing, trying to build up tension and whatever, sort of. I think whatever. Johnny Million, there he is, joining us. How are you? What's happening? So,
what's going on today? Why is it special today?
I have no idea. I was just like, you know what? It's a Tuesday. We don't get to hang out on Tuesdays very often.
You really don't.
And I was like, I miss sort of Tuesday-ish. I haven't even turned off I got the wrong title on. It's just sad. Like, I'm not doing any of the I'll fix that. Hold on. Boink. There we go. And I just thought I'd bring you on to just, because I know we were just watching it together, and I know ultimately, too, we will be sharing it with the Twitter machine and the chat room and all that kind of stuff. And I will bring on this, and everybody's saying, hey, Johnny, hold on one second. Let me shrink this down so I can bring in I'll show the chat room on the live-ish screen. It's the laundromats. It's the laundromats. There they are. Hi, chat room.
Hi, everybody.
So, okay, first of all, general feelings about the whole day. I have my thoughts. Just your and chat room, you too.
All day. I haven't been able to pay attention to the news.
Oh, you haven't
even clocked out like moments ago.
Oh, okay. So all right. A couple of things. Very bad decision on his part to not go in a white Bronco, but. In general, it met all the wonderful traits of a slow speed chase all the way from Florida. There were, the plane taking off and the plane landing and everybody nail biting. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene got driven out of New York by a bunch of screaming New Yorkers who were like,
amazing. I did see that.
Right. Who were like, fuck you, Georgia. And then, of course, he spent the night at Mar-a-Lago last night. Melania did not attend.
Oh,
she stayed in Florida. She just didn't feel like coming up yesterday or whatever. She's had enough of the place or something. I'm sure it's not him. And then the arraignment took about 58 minutes, which they thought it was going to be like 20 minutes. Like he would walk in and go, not guilty, and then just fuck off. And and I think partly as it rolls out, we're finding out that a big portion of it was the media attorneys who wanted to speak to the judge were, about why they should be allowed to have cameras in the courtroom, why they should be able, all the argument, like where they should be able to do it, where they should be able to position people. So I'm personally very excited about the entire thing. And yes, by the way, and as soon as he was done, he got in his car and he didn't even do any of this. Like, people were waiting for his Josh Hawley moment.
Yeah.
He did a little wave like that. He was pissed. He was livid. Yes, did I say something else? Trump Tower. So he spent the night at Trump Tower.
What did
and then
he want to happen? Like,
are you kidding?
Did he want, huge protests or something?
Oh, yeah. I mean, did you see the fucking AI pictures that he posted and other people posted with him walking down the middle of Fifth Avenue with, hundreds of people behind him and American flags and just dude, get over yourself.
Him again?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I'll try and find some moment. Right out of the gate, though, in, being a classic prick, Don Jr. posted a picture of the judge's daughter. So he's
nice.
Yeah, he's trending right now. This prick. And then that's the picture. There he is. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. That is the first picture of Trump in court. And Boris Epstein looks like he's filling out a bingo card or something. Joey Peanuts. Boris Epstein's on the outside. And by the way, I don't know if you feel the same way, Johnny Million, but I think it's kind of a mistake that if you're being investigated for your ties to Russia for several years, I would just broom anybody named Boris in my circle in terms of my legal or campaign representation. Sorry, dude.
Boris's friend.
Yeah, that's right. Any Borises, Natashas, anybody named Vlad. Yeah, no, 100 times no. But this is his, and apparently he's got Marcia Clark's stunt double. And then this guy, who I'm pretty sure could be played by Jeffrey Combs from The Frighteners if he parted his hair the other direction.
Oh, yeah.
Sergeant Johnson, you are violating my territorial bubble. Yeah, I do think it's funny that, like, Joey Peanuts looks like he's having difficulty, like, can you sign the piece of paper that says you're his representation while your client sits there?
How do pens work?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. That really does look like Marcia Clark's stunt double.
It doesn't it? I was like, come on. I mean, I know what I'm doing here. I could work for the Colbert writers' room, coming up with funky names. And so hold on one second. So Junior and Don Jr. are both trending because of this, and then Marjorie Taylor Greene got fucking broomed.
She got shouted down. There was somebody with a like a police whistle.
No, not a somebody. First of all, the same guy who's been in a bunch of these things. Turns out, because they interviewed him, turns out the dude is a Trump supporter, and he was passing out whistles to everybody. And again, he may be lying and fucking around.
Is this Walter Masterson?
Yeah.
Pretending to
Look at this shit. Look at this.
Supporter?
Look at them getting
That's
her the
unreal.
fuck. Look at them trying to get her the fuck out of there because she came there to start trouble, and then she's like, they were pushing and screaming and pushing and screaming. Like, asshole, you showed up. It's their fucking town.
Yeah, the audio
What are you
is
doing?
brutal. Just everybody screaming, get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear this. Yeah, I don't think you can hear it. Can you? When I play that audio? Okay, I'll figure out a way to... I'll make it so that... Because I think I can do it with the other software, but... like, just the... Like... that guy... I think that guy was, like, breathing in and out using...
circular breathing.
Just whistling. Yeah, he's using circular breathing on that fucking whistle or whatever. Oh, and by the way, just in case you don't know, and Johnny Million, because... As much as I love you, sometimes you're not as up on these things as I am.
No.
if I may. That guy right there. See that guy?
Yeah.
He's from RSBN. He's one of their main hosts. He's always at the rallies. He looks like a child star grown up. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like when somebody's like famous when they're 10 and then they grow up and their face stays 10.
Or like a reconstituted lifestyles of a rich and famous guy.
Oh, Robin Leach?
A little bit. Like
Lifestyles of the broken redneck. Anyways, I'm sitting here with Marjorie Taylor Greene, a woman who could spend her entire life inside a bourbon barrel and never miss a moment outside of it. She's covered completely in Cheeto dust because that's her idea of a good time. Yeah,
really
so
writes itself. Yeah.
that it does. That guy is fucking her. That's the guy that her husband divorced her over. Like, he's the last straw.
Oh.
He's always around. Like, this is the most exclusive of exclusives. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, and she said Trump is joining some of the most incredible people in history being arrested today. Nelson Mandela was arrested, served time in prison. Jesus was arrested and murdered. Arrested? Really? Did they read in Gethsemane? Did they read Jesus his rights? You have the right to preach the gospel. You have the right to a rabbi. You have the right to
people like her that are always bringing up Jesus. It's just not
right.
Good luck.
Well, because it's I mean, because she's got 3 fucking cultural references, and they're all like duct taped to a rubber mallet. That's how she operates. Like her entire idea is dumb idea whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should he be held accountable, Congresswoman? Get out of here. 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 Get her out of here. I'm Congressman Jamal Bowman. He's shouting a lot lately. He should, like, I think it's hilarious. I mean, he's such a New York congressman in that regard. You know what I mean? The fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Hey, what the, hey, the fuck out of here. Like, if he was Italian, this would, like, if this was Italian, nobody'd bat a if he was Italian, nobody would bat a fucking eye.
I think,
you know what I mean?
Michael Rappaport, like, overdubbed himself
Totally.
screaming. Yeah.
Yes.
I know he wasn't there, but boy, he mixed that in beautifully.
Leaving the protest, just like, look at the crowd, and it's all fucking cameras. Like, that's the other thing too. This is like 89% of the crowds outside this shit are cameras. All of it. It's all just like, everybody wants the same like shitty angle, or the one I caught the glimpse where she was like, you know, cockeyed looking at somebody, and so like they get to sell it to fucking people or something.
She doesn't have a good angle.
No, she does not. As a matter of fact, there's a I'll see if I can find it over here. There's a video. Actually, I'm gonna have to get it. Yeah, I'll have to do it in here. Yeah. There's a. Where is she? It's pretty horrifying. There was a video I was gonna do yesterday, and I ran out of fucking time. Oh, well, here, shit. Reunited and it feels so good. Reunited, he's got morning wood. Yeah, he's the dude that's been fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's gross and disgusting, and she's kind of fucking mean. She's
so there's
anyways.
no gag order, and Trump is still gonna speak tonight.
Yes. So there's let me let's see if I can do this. I want to try and I'm gonna reconstitute a screen if I can, just because I'm feeling wild and crazy. Give me a moment right here. Okay. I'm gonna go to studio mode, and then I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to this, and then I'm gonna make a it should be easy. Okay. No, a codfish. No, I'm not gonna make a codfish. Turn that off, and then I'll add. Where's the Johnny Million with the thingity doodle? Give me 1 second. This is what I do when I'm fucking talking about. What an asshole. Anyways, okay. There we go. So I add Johnny there, and then I take Johnny down here, and then I add.
Take Johnny down.
Take Johnny down. You're going down, Johnny Million. You're going down, Johnny Million. Hold on. It might be painful, but you're gonna make it. It's gonna be all right, son. Hold on. I'm going to drag this up here. I'm just going to add you to the screen. And I might have to, I'll finagle it here if I can. But we'll, see what I mean? So there you go. So we at least, and then I can make a bigger version of this so we can watch it together. See what I mean?
I'm sticking to my Robin Leach thing.
Yeah, you're going with Robin Leach? I still go with like Child Star.
Yeah, he does have kind of that baby face. And boy, he's got a 5 head.
Yeah, well, I mean, like attracts like. I'm just gonna. Yeah. So, and I think you should be able to hear this, but I will check and make sure. Okay. This is my.
If you have trouble breathing through your nose, pay close attention to this video.
You can hear trouble breathing through your nose. Okay, there we go.
Trouble breathing through my nose.
All right. It's true. I have trouble breathing through your nose. It's a long story. We're very close, you and I.
Gotta knock that off.
I do, but yeah, you know, you won't stand still. All right, hold on. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put you over here, and then you're right next to them in the car. You've hitching a ride. Okay, here we go.
It seems like one of the only safe spaces to be.
The safe places.
Yeah, man. Right on.
Hey, man.
Don't look directly at the camera, my man. Don't.
Oh no, he's interviewing. It's a bad look.
Yeah,
I mean, he looks like.
But I'm not saying like it's not a good look for TV. I'm just saying it's not a good look.
No, he looks like he looks like Rick Moranis playing a character.
Yes.
Playing a Tim Conway, and you know he looks like Rick Moranis in a Tim Conway biopic. During whoops, what the hell? Hold on, back go? Where'd you go? Come back, Johnny Million. Come back. Hold on, let's go back. There you go. Pop. Wait, no, you'll pop back up. There you are. I bumped my phone and it push the button, and that sometimes happens.
Oh,
Okay, so.
the scene on you, yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. I accidentally myself. You're absolutely right. It's not a good look. It's scary and fucked up. By the way, hi chat room. Welcome to the show. We're just kind of freeballing it today because of what just went down. We're gonna go through some of the excitement, and
I don't usually get to swear. This is fantastic.
It is good. It is. It's really just fuck shit, piss, fuck, cocksucker, motherfucker, shit. Yeah, shit, cunt, blah, blah, blah. There you go. Knock yourself out. So, I'm serious, Lo. Look at that. Is that not Rick Moranis playing Tim Conway in a biopic? As he meets his trophy wife who murdered him. I don't know where Tim Conway's biopic went that far south.
He here in New York City is in a car right now, joined with Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene,
who's not afraid to take the middle seat in an SUV, and that's yeah.
I couldn't put in words what we just went through about 20 minutes ago. I knew the media was here. We knew there.
Oh dear God! Please don't talk about fucking in the hotel room. I know your constituents paid for the room, but please don't. Well, I can't even think about just what happened in the back, and like you had my head in a scissor lock, and my eyes got bloodshot.
There was a crowd here, but I did not think they were going to respond like they did.
Well, honestly, it was getting through the press. That was the hardest part.
Yes, the crowd was the press.
Everybody. Yeah, they outnumbered
totally.
everybody else.
Right.
To get to the park bench, we didn't have a stage set up. This was a true protest, everyone. It wasn't organized and funded.
Well, all right.
Like what?
Like all the your stunt where you shot a Prius with a fucking 50 cal. Like, of course it wasn't organized. You're an idiot. Like, no, you thought Trump runs New York and I can just show up and the people, the New Yorkers will part like the Red fucking Sea. Good Lord.
Like you see the left, how they organize and fund.
Yes, we are much more organized. And we do own big tech and corporations, all the woke ones, which are all the rich ones. And, of course, we have control of all governments in the world and, of course, the Illuminati Pentaverse.
But the hard part was getting from the car to the actual park bench inside the park, inside the safety of the park where NYPD was set up to protect protesters. Remember, this is a peaceful protest. We're using our constitutional rights. But, yeah, we were swarmed, unbelievably swarmed. And then, of course, guess who was out there, Brian? You saw them, the people that bring their whistles. They bring all kinds of instruments to make loud.
No, yeah, he's thinking. He's like, it's like she just asked him, when's the first time we met right after they fucked?
I guess who's out there, Brian?
He just rolled off of her, and she's like, you remember the first time we met? He's like, ah! All the rallies blend together. You can't do this to me.
Loud noise, and what it is it's assault. It's assault on your ears.
Okay, fuck, and we're the snowflakes, all right. But it's assault on your ears.
The woman
oh my God, you delicate assholes!
It's it causes audible damage to your ears.
It causes audible damage.
Audible
Quite
damage.
the opposite. Quite the opposite, dum-dum, in theory. Inaudible damage, I would guess, because it's about what you can hear after a while. Yeah, loud noises!
Ears, and it's actually against the law here in New York City.
Blowing whistles is against the law in New York City. Yeah, and I wish, honest to God, I wish they hadn't been blowing whistles the entire time, so she would have been drowned out by the number of people yelling, fuck you, get out of my town, which is much more New York.
Clever New Yorker things to say that we could not hear.
Yes.
Yeah. And what you saw also was, and I pointed this out earlier, we love our men and women in uniform here in New York City, but there's 35,000 officers on call. I want to know where they were at.
She just picking people up randomly or whatever. This is what you get, Rick. What the fuck? I never memorize this guy's name because it's anathema to me. It's like I
just called him Brian, but that could still be wrong.
Yeah, right. Exactly. She's like, right, Brian? Oh fuck! I'm sorry. Brian's outside. Brian, get in here. The fucking's about to start. All right. these jokes are completely allowed. A, because we're not on the radio and we have to be able to throw caution to the wind, and B,
Right.
if I may, B, because she got divorced last year because she was fucking this dude and everybody else.
Because I don't think we had enough police presence there to get you through there. That mob was pushing
Nice audio quality switch. Did you hear that?
in. If we would have had a little bit more police presence at that park, I think it would have made.
Fuck me. Hold on, I got to turn it down a little bit because it's blasting other people. Nice quality, RSBN. Like, Johnny Million and I have audio problems, but it's just us. These assholes have millions of dollars. There's no fucking excuse.
Things a little less chaotic.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Well, according to the mayor, Mayor Adams, who actually warned me by name. I'm a member of Congress elected to represent Georgia's 14th.
Yeah, how dare he? He warned me by name because I did a call to protest and violence in his city. How dare he?
District.
He was like, he apparently had some sort of a gaggle where he was telling everybody that I have some sort of different herp that other people don't have, and you can get it twice, which is totally not true. It stacks, but it's not twice.
One of Trump's top supporters. I've endorsed him for president. I will always stand and defend President Trump. He's the greatest president of my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
But the Mayor Adams warned me and named me, telling me I better behave myself. But yet they sent their, I call them henchmen. They sent the mob out.
Henchmen.
I call them henchmen.
Henchmen.
That's the New York City public.
Yeah, that's our. I mean,
Those are the
honestly, if New York had a brand new sports team, I have to say,
Maybe the henchmen.
I don't look. The henchman's pretty good. You know, the Brooklyn henchman. It sounds. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Why do I sign?
The Bronx henchman. Meanwhile, she's like, they were blowing whistles and making me deaf. They sent henchmen after me. Like,
I call them henchmen, and I don't think they liked me. This is what it's like outside of the bubble, dear.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Sorry. Also, what's weird is I call my vagina a hench. Sorry.
Out today with all their noise and screaming horrible names at me.
Welcome to New York. Get the fuck out of here.
Christ.
Like, honest
You
to
could be
an
an innocent bystander and have to deal with all
Seriously.
that.
Yeah.
Imagine if you bring that kind of energy to New York and earn it.
Right, exactly. You can you can get that just accidentally bumping into a pretzel cart.
Right. You can be from fucking Kansas
Fuck
City.
makes you
It's just
special.
Like, yeah.
And they're the party of hate. They call us hate and say we have hate speech, but they really are the party of hate. But that's what.
Well, I will. We hate you,
Right.
okay, because of how you are, not because of what you are. And I think that's an important distinction, because once you leave, none of those New Yorkers just started screaming "fuck you" in the park at the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
hate MTG is what they are, I guess.
right, exactly. Yeah.
where they were. New York police. Let's talk about that for a minute. They have
Let's talk about New York police. Okay, nation's finest, my fucking ass.
35,000 police officers.
And there's like two. There ain't but 35,000 cops in the whole town. Can you dig it? Yeah, why didn't she at least get up on a giant wooden platform and go, look what we have here. We've got the maggots right next to the villages and golf courts. We've got the rhinos right by the Van Cortlandt Ranges. Nobody is wasting nobody.
Here in New York. Now,
Because it's all our turf.
just to give you a comparison, the Border Patrol has around 19,000 Border Patrol agents for our entire border, southern border and northern border. So just to understand the difference. And I think.
Yeah, there are more people in Manhattan all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Both native-born and immigrants and visitors and people doing business. You goddamn right they got. And you might actually recognize that that is an example of Republican priorities, because Republican priorities are such that New York, where Wall Street is, cannot get fucked up or the whole country goes with it, whereas the border is not nearly as under attack as they say it is, and that's kind of plenty.
I think that's a real shame. I think the Border Patrol should have at least 35,000 Border Patrol.
Well then, why did you vote against Biden's raise in the budget for Border Patrol agents?
But here's what we're doing. So I haven't left.
We can tell. We don't hear banjos playing in the background. There's no, there's no one-eyed guy back there going
hiding in my car.
Right.
We got into the safety of the vehicle here.
The vehicle. Please, hey man, don't be afraid to say vehicle.
And I'm planning to do a lot of interviews with different members of the press.
Which ones? Which ones do you think?
There's you, and then there's you, and I'm gonna be on you, and then
the reason why we have to do it inside the car is because these Antifa members, they are Antifa everywhere.
Get the fuck out. Yes, only in the case that you're a fascist.
Right.
Antifa members.
I'm
Everybody's
right now.
Antifa when it comes to you, dummy.
But in the daytime, they have whistles in their mouths.
Oh my God. As opposed to, everybody knows whistles go in your vagina. It's how you find the sex gurus at the gym. Queef your way to freedom. I'm sorry. Johnny, you're a bad influence.
Yes.
They bang on drums and pots and pans, but
those are buskers. Welcome to New York. We went by and there was like a guy and he had like paint drums upside down and he was like Antifa-ing. I think it was like I don't know, people were throwing money in a hat. It's like they pay Antifa here.
She had a megaphone and they couldn't hear her, and she's very sad.
Nighttime, we know exactly what they do.
Yeah, here's my impersonation of Marjorie Taylor Greene with her megaphone. There you go. Thank you.
They're the ones committing violence, attacking police officers, standing in the streets, stopping cars.
Standing in the streets.
Harassing people. They loot, they burn, they commit violence. That's who Antifa is. And but they're here by day, and so we're doing these interviews in the car.
They're here by day. They are here by day, and also the Iraq.
She should not be allowed to riff. This is not good.
Well, I mean, this dude thinks he's getting laid later, and he's already bored.
Yeah, he's looking at the zone light or something.
Yeah. It's like, now, when you switch it to door, does that mean you have to open the door for it to come on, or it doesn't come on? Like, is it, one's in the center, one's on, which is like, because when it's in the center.
Do I have to have a door open?
Is she still talking?
To talk about it, so I'd love to talk with you about what's happening with President Trump.
Yeah, I don't know if you had a
I'd love to talk. Yes, yeah. What is happening with
chance to
Trump?
speak with him today or yesterday. Can you give us an idea of what his spirits are like?
Yes, absolutely. I talked with him yesterday. I talked with him after the motorcade in Florida, and he had gotten on his plane. And I spoke with him, and he is completely committed to fighting this injustice, thankfully. And we're so thankful for President Trump. He really...
What a weird kind of Jesus-y way to talk about somebody. I'll never get used to it.
...is the one standing in the way of this communist government.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. This communist government that's trying to like have all these cops to protect Wall Street and not the border. All right.
And all this law and order, people actually getting charged with crimes after they commit them for 30 years.
Right. Stalin never had to go through the, oh shit.
Yes, that's what the Biden regime is. That's what this Alvin Bragg, George Soros funded DA, funded with $1 million to get elected, Brian. And that's who they are.
$1 whole million? What a cheap date.
What they're doing is not
What is this being broadcast on?
This is RSBN. This is this guy's channel. This dude right here. This is RSBN is his channel. Like, or well, he's the main host on there. He didn't own it, but he's one of their main people. Usually he's either
Is this
at a
some
Trump
sort of
rally.
internet channel?
Yes. Right Side Broadcasting Network. Yeah, we do some clips on the show from these guys on the regular, if I do say so my damn self. But this is par for the course with these assholes. And hold on one second. There's going to be, by the way, Trump is going to rally at apparently 8:30 tonight at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. And then,
Rally.
Persecution. It's persecution. And they're persecuting President Trump, actually arresting him today. He's going to be arraigned. They have something like 32 so-called sealed charges, but let's break it down to what it really is. It is they colluded
What is it
with
really?
the Biden Department of Justice.
They colluded. It's collusion with the Biden Department of Justice.
And
I call it the Department of Injustice. The compartment of
they have
injustice.
twisted the criminal code.
Cold. It's a cold code. It's a cold case cold.
They have found what they think is a loophole to try to bring.
Wow.
Loophole. A loop. Please, can't. At some point in the future, either through, hacking someone's brain chip. I would love for, once we get into augmented lifestyles where everybody's got a brain chip in them and occasionally you can break in, somebody to actually, loophole makes no sense. But him to if you could just go, what? She said what? And you could just type something, and if enough people go, ask her what a fucking loophole is, the report bot would go, what's a loophole? Can you describe it? Like that. It almost becomes like a digital Ask Me Anything. Future robot interviewers are going to be the shit. They're going to be crazy.
Charges against him for things that have been vetted, completely vetted.
Vetted?
She doesn't know what she's saying.
She doesn't know what words mean. It's great.
Over 6 years ago, nearly 7 years ago.
Nearly 7 years ago. I mean, Barron was like, he wouldn't have even known about this if they'd have just, if he'd have just paid a fine. Shit.
And it's outrageous.
And we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Outrageous. That's the word. Anytime a politician uses the word outrageous, that means it's true. Whatever they're upset about, whatever case is being made, if a politician ever uses the word outrageous to describe charges or accusations, that literally means it's true.
Is that like bringing up Hitler to lose an argument?
Yeah, that's what was that? The Gadsden rule or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not the right name for it, but it's something like that.
Stormy
Yeah.
Daniels
What?
herself signed an affidavit in 2018 saying that she never had an affair with
Yeah, she was paid to do it.
President Trump. Michael Cohen.
And by the way, she's right. That piece of paper, if I may, let me see if I can bring that up. Because I'll show you something really cool, Johnny Million, and I'll see if you can. Stormy Daniels.
The Lionel Richie
signed
rule.
letter.
Someone in chat said that. Yeah, Lionel Richie really
Right.
brings up Hitler all the time, and it's just like, Lionel,
Right.
come on.
Let's see. Hold on. Where is it? God damn it. Where's the picture?
Kudos to them. I think they spelled arraignment right.
All right. Let's see. Okay, where's the... here it is. Okay. So, all right. This is the letter that they're talking about, that she signed that said, this never happened, January 10th, 2018. Now, recently became aware that news outlets are alleging that I had a, quote, sexual and or romantic affair with Donald Trump many, many years ago. I'm stating with complete clarity this is absolutely false. My involvement with Donald Trump was limited to a few public appearances and nothing more. When I met Donald Trump, he was gracious, professional, blah, blah, blah. Rumors have it I received hush money from Donald Trump. Completely false. If indeed I did have a relationship with Donald Trump, trust me, you wouldn't be reading about it in the news. You would be reading about it in my book. But the fact of the matter is these stories are not true. Okay, so she wrote it up all sassy. But the standout thing to me is affair and relationship.
Yeah.
That's the part. Nobody in their right mind thinks that is somehow legally binding in any way, because A, it's just a letter, it's a press letter, but also, so it's not like it was notarized. Secondarily, I don't think she had an affair. I think she fucked the dude once.
Yeah.
That was always, yeah.
She painted herself into a corner with him at a party.
Yeah. And then fucked her way out of it.
Yeah,
That's the way she describes it. She fucked her way out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a 3-minute stand. The whole thing lasted 1.5 episodes of Shark Week. And so no, that letter can be largely true and still a lie. Because nowhere in there does she say, I never fucked the dude, which is the point, right?
Former Trump attorney is a convicted felon.
Yeah, for lying on his behalf.
Well, yeah, for doing what Trump wanted.
Right. Yeah, that guy's a scumbag. You've seen his friends?
Can you imagine who he works for?
Oh my God. Anybody who would even talk to that dude, much less hire him.
Him a convicted felon is fucking insane.
Right.
He's convicted because he did what Trump asked him to do.
Right. And hold on, I'm gonna make you a little bit larger because I want you to so you're sitting on her lap. No, hold on one second. I think let's move this down here. I think here you go. Now you've got your own little window.
Jagged.
Yeah, cool. You're inside the frame. It'll work. I'm just trying to. It's fucking with my aesthetics. I'll have to make another frame at some point so that I can bring you in. And hi, chat room. I don't want you to feel neglected because Johnny and I are talking so much. This is just a nice little addendum. Johnny usually has his live stream playing music. When are you doing it on the regular now?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Okay, great. So you had the day off, so I fucked with that. I'm sorry.
Had the day off, and Hal gave me a text and said, "You want to pop on?" And I was like, "What's going on today?"
Yeah, I don't know. Who can say? All right, and in the meantime, give me 1 second. I'm going to drag this picture down and move this over here and say hi to the chat room so we can, let me see if I can shrink this down a little bit for this guy right here and then put you guys in here. There you go. Johnny's a human wall. That's right. We scroll these things down. Look at this crazy chat room. Look at these beautiful people. I almost feel like everybody's like, I have to get my questions ready for Philip. What day is it? Fuck, I don't know what the fuck time it is. Right. Now let's I'm going to check on Rumble, the Trump indicted. So Trump himself put out a message last night. And let's see, they're still Trump. Yeah.
If you have trouble breathing through your nose,
I have
pay
trouble
close
breathing
attention
through
to
my
this
nose.
video,
Hold on a second.
because this new invention from
You're so ugly. Okay, so this, by the way, is...
The mayor has been outspoken on types of, preventing any types of violence or any kind of radical protest.
Any kind of radical protest. Are you out of your fucking mind? There's a guy who dresses...
sign saying lock him up. He's a fucking criminal. We're sick of this shit.
There's a naked cowboy in Times Square all the time. What the fuck defines New York radical? Also, it's a beautiful sunny day. Let's see what some of these Trumpsters have to say.
House of Representatives, sitting Congresswoman, they should have had plenty of protection. And I will say this, long-time Trump supporter. We've been out here with rallies, all of my friends. We've gone chest to chest with Antifa and BLM people.
You're one tough woman, I can tell you that.
Antifa. Oh, come on. Antifa.
Now, I've been looking over there. You see a couple. Yeah, you guys are great. You guys are.
We
love the friendships that you've made coming out here.
Yes. All the patriots. See, from different backgrounds. There's so many black people also woke up.
This makes me sad, Hal.
Okay, so you may not know this, but Johnny Million, let me bring you up to speed a little bit. Tsai Ing-wen, the president of Taiwan, who's actually a president, who actually got voted in by the people of Taiwan, unlike Xi Jinping, who was selected by the Communist Party to be the leader, and people still call him a president. Don't get me fucking started. Tsai Ing-wen was in New York, and China flipped out about it. They were they were raging about it. And they paid people $200 a pop to come down and protest her at her hotel, at the UN, everywhere she went, like basically wherever she met with people. There were Chinese protesters, paid Chinese protesters, groups of them. Outside of Trump's, outside of Trump Tower a couple days ago, when the word came down, the first time and the second time, when he was going to come the original Tuesday and then it was bumped to this week, there were a bunch of people standing outside holding up Trump stuff like hers, and a big portion of them were Chinese, and they were the same people. They were literally, like, some of them forgot to take off their MAGA hats when they were protesting Tsai Ing-wen. Yeah, it's, and by the way, there's also lots of black people, and meanwhile, the blacks for Trump are right behind her. That's why she's thinking it. And that's the guy, by the way. That's the blacks for Trump dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's him. Yeah.
That's the one.
And that guy, for those that don't know, that's the guy who thinks that there are only, there's a small group of real black people. They're the original Native Americans. They were here before the Indians, that and white people and everybody else, and that Oprah and Barack Obama and Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington and all the famous black people are actually crossbreeds between East Indian people and Cherokees, who are the most evil beings on the planet. And that mix of people are the enforcers for the Jews.
So he said this out loud at some point.
He's got a whole website dedicated to it. I mean, video after fucking video after fucking video. And it's interesting because there are a couple of times I was like, I want to do these on my stream. I should bring one of them on. And like, you know, and then I would, literally, there's not a single one on there that's just him talking where I could go and break it down like I do. Yeah. All of it has horrifying, violent videos of, you know, of just like racial violence or something like that, or someone being beaten to death in India or something like that, like an honor killing, or Arabs murdering somebody or whatever, with him making the case that Arabs are the real white people and white people are just, you know, like Trump, are the super white people are like Nordic aliens and they deserve to be partnered with the real blacks. Like, it's fucking lunacy.
So this guy is just out here trying to find anybody who's not an old white guy or Duck Dynasty guy to say they like Trump.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blacks for Trump back over here.
Yes. Our brothers.
Yeah,
You know?
they're your brothers.
We are colorblind. We're all brothers. Okay? We're all
We are all colorblind.
Because you know what? We're all Americans.
Yeah,
and we all love America, and we love what America stands for. These radical communists, they will never make the United States of America a communist nation. We will not allow it. Because
yeah, both of them. How many of them are in New York at this point? Honest to God, 7 million people in the general area. How many genuine communists do you think live in? I'm going with under 30. And none of them in a position of power. Most of them in the village. There's a juice bar there. They smell like patchouli. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they trade some ideas.
Yeah. So one of them is using a fake ID because he was a member of the Weather Underground and he's been on the run for years.
we will stand up, and when they think they've got some of us and they throw us in gulags and we're locked up, more of us will come and stand in the gap. And
yes, you're the Hydra of Long Islanders.
Dear
yeah.
God, if only there were a fucking gulag for this.
Hail hayseed. Easy. Hail hayseed. Cut off one redneck and another will take its place.
They will never make this country fall. God bless America. God bless President Trump.
Thank you.
Amen. God bless you.
And they don't scare you at all from being out here.
No, this is actually mild. We've been through some things where, you don't even want to know.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
No,
Otherwise,
I don't.
I would like to know, because I have a generalized feeling, Johnny Million, and pardon me if I you know, because I'm a open-hearted, open-minded kind of a guy. I think she's bullshitting.
What?
I think that her stories of going tits to tits with Antifa and fighting, you know, in the streets are bullshit. I think it's bullshit. I think she did some fuck you yelling at her television set.
How you doing?
How you doing, brother?
Good to see you.
You as
What's your thoughts on everything today?
So, it's definitely pretty obvious that it's a political hit job.
Yeah, I like Donald Trump because I'm one of the early investors in Trump coin, and I think crypto is the future, and I think he's going to be like we need to bring Donald Trump back because when he was here, like crypto was doing great, and then Biden comes in here and tries to regulate it, and then the FBI manages to get it back from like ransomware attackers, and now people don't think they can hide it anymore, and therefore...
I mean, they brought up a misdemeanor to a felony. Meanwhile...
They did bring up a misdemeanor to a felony.
Yeah. Once you get a felony, you can't vote again.
On your record. You can't get a felony off your record. It's just there. You know what? Even if you wash it, like, if you bleach it out, it takes all the...
expunging of the felony.
Everybody's, crime is rampant over here in New York, and felonies are being dropped down.
Yes.
Again.
I thought that was a momentary slip. I did.
Yeah, they're just felonies.
Yeah, they're just multiple felonies. That's a misdemeanor, which is what apparently what they charged Epstein with.
From real criminals.
I'm kidding. He never missed a minor.
And it all seems like a political hit job. So my question has always been, where is it all coming from? Where is it all stemming from?
I know. What does your index card say?
Yes, defeat fascist Democrat Party.
And we got to go to the source of how this all goes, because just...
Yeah, we do. We have to go to the source of how this all goes, Johnny. Yeah, and get behind to the bottom of these felonies and where the source of they are, or whatever. Because I personally think there's a ladder in the Denver airport that will take you, and it has a slip and slide that will take you right to the New York subway. Right.
About when the new...
Everything goes back to the Denver airport. You ever been in the Denver airport, my friend?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Have you seen the mural?
Oh yeah, it's nuts.
Oh yeah, you can see why people would stand there and go, "All right, this is honest to God. Am I going to get tapped on the shoulder by a man in black?"
Congress came in, we had the committee put...
While we all celebrate, pay attention to what's happening in Tennessee. It's scary. It's fascism happening in real time. Well, yeah, Dr. Kevsgal, excellent point about Tennessee, but I will say this. There, real protests are going on. People are being arrested because they are participating in these. They are not going to get any major jail time if they're not engaged in any violence. If anything, they will have something on their record that won't fuck with their job prospects ever, and it might actually move the needle. And because there is, it's amazing the volume of people in Tennessee that are pushing back against gun violence, and a lot of rural areas, because that's where the AR-15s are stacked. That's where you have access. And you're going to see, sadly, these people won't turn until there are a bunch of, like, Auroras and Nashvilles. Because they don't give a fuck if it happens in the city. And because of the change in standard of what constitutes a mass, mass murder event or a mass shooting, being 3 people involved or more, because that's the standard, it gets mixed in with dozens of drive-bys statistically now, or gang violence, or inter-gang violence, which is the majority of gun violence in the country, and that's why we have 132, mass shootings, and you're like, I don't remember 132 people walking into schools or their workplace shooting the fucking place up. There's a dozen, there's way too many, but it's not the same thing. And you solve those problems differently. But anyway, sorry, back to the felonies.
For the weaponization.
By the way, I vote for this guy being the next victim on Only Murders in the Building. Does he kind of favor the first guy who died in season 1?
Very much.
Yeah.
Of the DOJ. Once that happened, we started hearing about the Chinese spy balloons. We started hearing about the Chinese Communist Party's police stations here in New York.
Yes. Hi, asshole. Notice the difference. Trump's getting his ass busted, and there were Chinese spy balloons during Trump. You didn't hear about them. The Chinese police stations that existed, you didn't hear about them until Trump was out of office, until Biden actually made them a fucking priority. That doesn't. It's like the fentanyl crossing the border, the seized fentanyl at the border. This is their reaction. Like, now all this fentanyl's being seized coming into the country. No, it's being seized so it doesn't come into the country. Yeah.
Started hearing about China and joining with Russia. We start hearing about the 18 countries that are letting go of the U.S. dollar. China
letting go of the U.S. dollar.
Yeah. This is the BRICS idea that they're gonna, we're not gonna be the reserve currency anymore. This is, and by the way, notice he keeps saying you keep hearing about, you started hearing about, and it's because right-wing media, the kind of shit I cover here all the time, just goes in this. We've seen them dive into every
question.
Right. They and you just hearing about. We're just talking about. We're just hearing about it. We're just we just want to. You won't even
hear these things. Well, yeah, just because you said it out loud, dude.
Right, and because you're in this case, his political opponent is in jail, or his political opponent is. Hold on one second. Let me stretch this out. I'm trying to make because they made this little ad window here. Because you're out of office. And your side's out of office, and your guy is facing jail time for shit he chose to do. Lame crimes that if it was a Democrat, you'd totally be in on, like, fuck this guy, right? That's why he's hearing about it, because that's when the media that he listens to starts yammering about it.
It's been on the news a whole lot lately for so many things.
It has been on the news a whole lot lately.
Joining with Russia, we start hearing about the 18 countries that are letting go of the U.S. dollar. China's been on the news a whole lot lately for so many things.
Yeah, a whole lot lately. It's been on the news for a whole lot lately.
And it seems like there's a lot in connection to the Chinese Communist Party having something to do with this. And
yeah, totally.
Does he really think any of this is real, or is he just so happy to be on camera?
No. This dude's all in. This guy's this is a shallow stream that thinks it's a raging river.
So he got dressed. He's like, all right, putting on my shirt, and my jacket,
right?
Go.
Yeah. I was on.
Ready.
I'm just coming back from a job interview that I didn't get because of my record. Because I was involved in a crypto scheme, and apparently financial institutions don't want to hire guys who are involved in that kind of chicanery.
I think that's something that needs to be talked about.
Well, we're going after President Trump, right? For using his own personal matter, his personal money, and not campaign. They're going after.
Yeah, his personal semen, his personal. All right, whatever the fuck. So that's RSBN. That's the RSBN crowd. And by the way, hi chat room. I'm gonna I want to bounce out to grab another check-in. And by the way, hold on. There may be... Joey Peanuts didn't do Trump any favors today over the indictment. That was a hilarious mess. But hold on one second. I want to find Donald Trump.
Did he not get it perfect?
It was okay. Hold on. 7 hours ago. Upcoming. Okay, so Trump's live remarks will start in a little bit. But wow, he has not made a video on his Rumble channel, like his little 2-minute videos that he put up, for 5 days. I'll show you. Give you an example. Here's one of here. Oh. They always use the same starting picture, even though it's not him.
Yeah. This is
China, Russia, and Iran, not to mention North Korea and other countries, have placed the U.S. in a very bad.
He said, "Don't mention it."
Is this is the one where he did the one about farmers and have fun out there
and dangerous?
No. He. This is 32 seconds long. This one is literally just titled "They no longer respect us, but they will."
Oh boy.
Position. They are dividing up the world as we sit around and let them do it. They no longer respect the United States, but they will. Go out and vote. 2024.
Yeah, go out and vote. In a year and a half.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I think he makes these just to avoid FEC fines. Joe Biden hasn't thanked President Trump for NATO. Biden stuffed the Manhattan's DA's office with Department of Injustice people. I did that one a couple days ago. The last one he did was the nuclear word. Get down and pray. Get down, get funky. This is it. This is his latest video before his live stream tonight.
Terrifying.
Oh, dude, he makes these all the time. And they always use this weird, darkened, round, like, I mean, he looks like one of those rotisserie chickens in Whole Foods.
Kind of delicious. I bet that's really nice.
Here we go. Just
Here we go.
as I predicted. Now we're playing with the big stuff.
Now we're playing with the big stuff.
I predict we're going to be playing with the big stuff.
I agree. Mr. Big Stuff. That's what they got. Trump has never played with big stuff in his life.
The N-word, that is.
Oh, God. It always shocks me when he says that. He means nuclear.
Oh.
Yeah, he does this.
The nuclear word.
Yeah, that's not where most people go, and he knows it. That's why he likes to shock people. It makes people go, oh, what?
Is now being used front and center all over the world.
That's right, front and center. I can't order a meal without. Can I get a? You know what? Can I get a caramel nuclear latte? And do you have any of the nuclear egg bites? Sir, don't say that word. I'm sorry, we're just using it. It's the hip new nuclear phrase now. We're hey man, go nuclear. We're just all nuclear now. Everybody's using it. En français, nucléaire.
This situation was caused by us.
Oh, fuck us then. I'm sorry, it was caused by us because we should have let Ukraine get their ass beat.
It's what happens when you have incompetent people running your government.
Oh, I see. So you're talking about shit you did while you were in office, like letting Lavrov and those fuckers plant stuff and kill off some of our spies and all that kind of shit. I see.
All I can say to you is, right now, drop down and pray.
Wow.
What an asshole.
Wow.
All I can say is drop to your knees and do something I never do and I view as a sign of weakness, which is pray. Do something I have literally never done in my fucking life, you saps. That's it. That's the whole fucking video, by the way. 32 seconds, right to that, and then exit through the gift shop.
Money.
Yep, all of them. Exit through the gift shop. Are you seeing anything on your end that I should pop up? I mean, there's plenty of stuff. Hi, chat room. I'm gonna jump back over to the Twitter right now. Right now, look what's Real America, RAV, Real America's Voice is trending. Even CNN, what? Even CNN did what? Well, this is 34 is even weaker than I feared. What? That's John Bolton. Even CNN's legal analysis is saying the case is underwhelming. When even CNN can't show you it's against 34 felonies. And by the way, they're not making the case in this. They make a case that there was an ongoing crime, and by the way, this is the least of his worries. This dude will pay a fine, just like Clinton had to pay a fine, I think, on one of their things where they paid legal fees and put it as a campaign expense or vice versa.
How many of these felonies has the New York State's attorney brought this year? Like 160 or something. This is just like what they do. This is not a big crazy thing.
Right.
He's trying to make it that.
That's right. What's underwhelming, quite frankly, is how comfortable the fucking video that they put out.
Here,
this oh my god. Jimmy Dore played like this I will never back down video like it was a fucking ad. Danny Balls is having a rough one. I don't know that I can play MAGA. My ass got arrested. The army. Okay. Yeah. So, Real America is only 29%. Okay. Oh, I see. Favor political polls. Trump has a 29% favorability rating and an unfavorable of 55, which means Biden is doing better than he.
Yeah.
Van Jones is trending for some particular reason. I tell you about Van Jones. Oh, Van Jones on trouble. He looks sad. I don't like the prison system. I don't like this process. Doesn't mean accountability is not owed, but this is a granddad having a very bad day. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Johnny Mel, I was invited to PolitiFest or whatever it was once.
Oh, yeah.
Just once. And I mean, in my defense, I couldn't make the second year, and then COVID happened, but still.
Okay.
And then I don't even know if it's still happening. But Politicon. Anyways, when I did go there, I was back in the backstage area waiting to do my panel of 3 that I had. And there was a debate between Ann Coulter and Van Jones that they had, right? And they were, they had set it up to this. Yeah, it was going to be like one of the big, like, oh my God, we got some big heavy hitters at this fucking thing, and they're going to have a conversation nobody's comfortable with. You know what I mean? They're going to really go for it. This is Well, before they were pally-walling around like crazy, they were joking and hanging out. And then after the debate, I literally heard Van Jones say, I didn't go too hard on that topic with you, did I? And I was like, this fucking, like, it reminded me of the coyote and dog cartoons from the old Warner Brothers. Like, see you tomorrow, Sam. Remember that, where they would punch out, right? They'd, like, chase each other like crazy, and then the bell would ring, and they would just punch out. And
Yeah.
Right. It was exactly that. Like, all for show, total bullshit, just nonsense. And Van Jones has always kind of softly run interference for MAGA World. Yeah, there he is. Look, with Eric. There he is with Jared and all that crowd. Yeah. The Van Jones vibe. What? Hold on. What does he say here? Hold on.
We sick. He say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick."
Oh, I see. That's Malcolm X basically doing the voice of a house servant, as it were. So there we go. A lot of Van Jones stuff. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene is, of course, still trending, as you do. And this is her 60 minutes, blah, blah, blah. But the most of it is
all the insults to her.
Yeah. And we're like, wow, that's uncomfortable. Like, thanks, Leslie. We know. Thanks, Margie. You're a real patriot. More than the patriot everybody loves to hate right after the best for my pillow. Marjorie Taylor Greene calls Bragg a tool for the Democrats in a fiery protest rally. This is her article. Hi, y'all. I'll have it. And she's wearing aviators when she shit on Joe Biden for wearing them. Oh, my God. So she the interview she did in the car, he threatened me. The mayor of New York City is a thug, calling Antifa to bring their whistles, pots, and pans to drown me out. Antifa pots and pans. Antifa doesn't cook. They're a bunch of...
owes her an apology.
I guess so. President Trump did nothing wrong. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck that is. And this is, there go the Margie whistles. This is when she got kind of told to fuck off. Yeah. And she got in the vehicle, and then they had to like part the traffic to get her out of there. Good times. By the way, hi chat room. Love you guys. Let's see. I'm just checking in on these. There's New York City. Lock her up. New York, it's because people are responding to the whole, like, it's terrible to threaten to lock up your opponents and da-da-da-da. Just because Trump failed to do it. And, oh, by the way, National Enquirer, look way down here at the bottom. The National Enquirers, why would that be? Do you know why that is? Because some of the money paid out went to the National Enquirer, to David
because
Pecker.
The National Enquirer gave him a heads up, right?
That's right. And facilitated the payment. Because, again, for all this, like, Michael Cohen is an admitted liar and a felon, and he deserves to go to jail for farpity-farpity-farp. Well, I got news for you. He's not the only defendant. He's not the only person Trump bounced money through. And David Pecker, the best possible name anyone could have in a pay to shut up scheme involving a porn star ever, is also one of the same witnesses, is also involved in this crime. Yeah. And that was the one that has to do with Karen McDougal.
Right.
And then this other doorman who apparently had a story that Trump has an illegitimate son or a child. I don't think they distinguished whether it was a boy or a girl. If it was a boy, he'd probably have taken the kid. It's probably a girl because he's like, ugh, another Tiffany. But apparently the doorman knew a story and was going to sell it to the Enquirer about the fact that Trump has an illegitimate kid someplace that he, shut down. And apparently Pecker facilitated that as well. So of these three, Michael Cohen's is only one out of the three major conduits for the payments. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there he is. David Pecker. And I'm surprised Pecker isn't trending. And one of the weirdest parts is, this is Karen McDougal. This is the other woman he had the affair with. This was a real affair. She's weird. She's a weird woman because she was like infatuated with Trump. She thought this was going someplace. And thought, and it seems from her testimony and what she talked about when this first came out, and she's pretty much disappeared from public view since this shit. But she talked about it like she thought she was going to be the next Melania.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. She was jockeying to be the next Melania. And it could have happened, by the way. If the timing was slightly different, you're goddamn right. Because I guarantee America would have liked her Christmas tree pics better than Melania's. Right? I'm not, as far as like show wives go, I mean, granted, the maggots will like anybody, and the idea that she has this like, it's his second wife with an Eastern European accent, that's not curious at all. It's almost like he's been honeypotted for 2 decades, like an asshole. Yeah. Indictment includes Donald Trump love child payoff scandal. 2015, Dino Sajudin. Dino Sajudin. Sajudin? I'm going to go Sajudino. Sajudino. I think he dropped the O at some point. Yeah, she is very pretty. It's true, chat room. A former doorman at Trump Tower told reporter for National Enquirer that Trump had possibly fathered a child out of wedlock with an ex-employee in the late 80s. There's almost no way that didn't happen. Because he was such a low-hanging fruit target in that regard.
Ooh, Keith Olbermann there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, Keith is jumping in on the National Enquirer story, so he's hammering it. The Peter Principle in action, right, because of David Pecker. Right, Peter Principle, I get it. It's not I will say it's not the Peter Principle in that regard. David Pecker, as far as we can tell, earned his spot on the at the top of this thing. Now, let me do one thing real quick. Let's see if there's a... Yeah, hold on. Trump indictment on... Well, oops. Shit. I should have... I should have put indicated. Okay, so I'll give you a general idea of what's happening in terms of, I did a search on there. The first thing that comes up is Fat Pig, New York DA Bragg uses made-up laws, Elon Musk backs Trump, indictment will backfire. Indictment will backfire. Indictment will backfire, yeah. Merrick Garland's former law professor, strong evidence DOJ will soon issue a Trump impeachment. That's from somebody else. FDA witch hunt, treason, Brzezinski can't secure like witch hunt on Trump. Trump train in the House, indictments disclosure, be ready, people. Trump train in the House, indictments. Okay, so those are the ones that came up in that regard. And I wonder if Don Jr. has made a statement officially other than his shit on there. Hold on. Don Jr. Don Jr. tackles the news of the week. Okay, so he's going to carry on his channel, on Triggered. He is bring up, and then yesterday he had a episode of Triggered, which is it sounds like he's fucking a horse, but all right. Welcome back to Triggered. Hosted by Frau Brucha. We did this one yesterday, Outrage, the insanity of placing a gag order on Trump, which never happened.
Yeah, congrats. You got to freak out for 3 minutes and 24 seconds about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what all of his videos are. This, the sick truth about the Nashville trans shooting. This is the idea that nobody's upset about the shooting victims. They're just, they're worried about the trans community. They're worried about the trans community because of backlash from assholes like him, saying shitty stuff and blaming this on, the trans ideology or the transgender movement instead of just a trans person doing this, or an alleged trans person doing this, or someone who called themselves trans, or somebody who was maybe a trans trender, or any of the possibilities therein, that has nothing to do with anybody else who's that way, any more than, quite frankly, like, these assholes never want to take credit when it's one of theirs and go, they want to make all maggots look violent just because thousands of us attacked the Capitol. Yeah. Holy shit. So, yeah. He's got nothing. Today's an interesting, like, hunt for these kind of stories in this regard. Let's see, news. We'll go to news. Even saying the U.S. hashtag U.S. president. Oh, the president of El Salvador said shit about, like, the U.S. or whatever. It's like, really? That's where you're going? All right, hold on. Let's see. We'll go to Trump indictment on Twitter, and if
I've got a 10-minute warning here, Hal.
All right, I'll let you go in a minute.
Well, no, I've got to go. I've got to go be a partner.
All right. Oh, so this is one of the things that caused a big fight.
Oh,
right.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they unfurled this giant thing, and this, this woman was like trying to get rid of it or move it or whatever, and like, hey, nope, you can't. And then she fell down because you can't take somebody else's shit, nutcase. Massive banner displayed in front of the Manhattan courthouse reading Trump lies all the time, prompts a fight between these gathered front. Like, she's just attacking it. This is and again, like, peaceful demonstration. We're just being peaceful. That's my First Amendment rights. Like, nah, it doesn't work that way, lady. Yeah. And there's...
what's that? Oh, that's Santos.
Yeah, that's Trump's illegitimate son. He's got a meeting with David Pecker.
Why did he go to Manhattan? He was just like, camera time.
No, I think he came there, I want to say the day before or whatever, but and by the way, there's Jordan Klepper kind of getting over to talk to him. Way to fight your way to the front.
I can't wait to see that interview later.
Oh, he doesn't seem to be able to get one. Look at this. I mean, granted, you're coming to his town. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk.
I'll leave that. I'll leave that to you guys to watch on your own time, whatever. And I'll let Johnny go in about 5 minutes. And somebody. Okay, member of the press assaults someone standing outside of the Manhattan court. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, it's not because that dude hit the black dude or called him the N-word or assaulted him. Yeah. He's like, get the fuck back from me. Yeah, look. Yeah, that was an innocent bystander. Get the fuck out of here. And that's something we could watch real quick was the, this is the day the rule of law died in this country. Died. Let's see. Trump lawyers press conference. I'll be doing the, Bragg one.
Today's unsealing of this indictment shows that he can be indicted for the same shit that 160 other entities were indicted for.
Exactly.
In 2023.
Yeah. Let's see. Today I gotta watch the. DA Trump lawyers press conference. Alvin Bragg, Rudy Giuliani, blah blah blah. Then it automatically goes to like Four Seasons. Total landscaping. No word from them. Yeah. So I'll end up finding that for my show in here. Let's see. Videos in here. Watch live. Yeah. Trump, I need to find it by time. Get out of here. The search stuff these days is ass because they've stopped updating it. Google's as a search engine, like the algorithm and all the affects of it all the time, they've stopped updating it because they're going to move to a chat GPT style based response system. And it's because large language models are cheaper than the system that runs web searches, and it's dead. Yeah, Bing just came around the corner and cold cocked Google and everybody else by absorbing AI into its stuff. Okay, here he goes. This is Trump's lawyer says. Yeah, let's see if this will play on here. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get this down. Whoop. After the ad stops playing.
Beginning my nose.
Are you? Yeah. Here we go. Hold on.
In the indictment.
No.
How about you, Joe? Were you surprised?
Yeah, I was surprised there were no facts in there. I mean, normally in an indictment you have alleged facts. So they said that this was a false business record entry to aid and abet another crime without saying what the other crime was.
it was election crime, clearly. And by the way, as far as discovery goes and the nature of the indictment, they don't have to say in a RICO case or one that might involve other people what the extra crime was. They don't have to, because they could still be rounding other people up. They could add Alan Weisselberg to this crime. They could add David Pecker as an unindicted co-conspirator in this crime.
Can you talk about his demeanor? How is he doing?
Can you tell us about his demeanor? Yeah, he's basically the same disgusting guy you've seen forever. He's kind of smelly. He's mad
really
all the time.
That his followers didn't burn down New York.
Right. Hold on.
When you say what his reaction was, what do you expect his reaction was? I mean, his reaction was exactly what would happen if it happened to anybody that I'm looking at now or anybody that's hearing what you're saying.
No, it wouldn't.
No,
he's frustrated. He's upset.
And by the way, most people might want to react in a way that they would call people to commit violence against the DA and stuff, but they're not going to actually do it. No. Like, he fucking posted a picture of him holding a bat next to a picture of Alvin Bragg's fucking head. That's not how that's how shitty mobsters who know they're going down act.
I'll tell you what.
So, by the way, not because they don't think it'll help them in court or scare the judge off or scare the DA off, but so that they don't get snuffed on their way.
He's motivated, and
he's motivated, not to eat right or work out or anything, but just in general.
It's not going to stop him, and it's not going to slow him down, and
he can't get much slower.
It's exactly what he expected, and so to that extent, there's no surprise. But he's also.
No, like all last week. Remember, they were like, it was going to happen, and then they were like, oh, they're pushing it for a month. It's going away. It's never going to happen. And then even Maggie Haberman, who's like the Trump whisperer, was saying his entire legal team was caught off guard by it actually happening. They're like, it's what?
So did the chat that lawyers love cocaine. These guys are really jazzed.
Holy shit, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how you're not adrenalized in this situation anyways. And the problem is, this is your one fucking shot.
Yep.
As a lawyer, this is it.
I'm frustrated and disappointed and
yeah, but I mean, it's his reflection. It's nothing we can do about it.
That this happened.
He's mad that this happened. Yes, because the guilty are often pissed when they're caught.
What about the warnings against his rhetoric on Twitter? What was the former president's
there was not a warning. What do you mean?
What do you mean a warning? What are you talking about? He was talking about everybody.
The judge did not warn. The district attorney made a statement addressing what they perceived to be, I'm not sure what the words they use.
Threats.
Inappropriate rhetoric of some sort.
Inappropriate rhetoric of some sort. It was a fucking picture of him holding a bat next to a picture of Alvin Bragg's fucking head. And by the way, they were in this order, not this order. So the idea that it was just, it's just two pictures posted next to each other. It's a total coincidence.
Obviously, we responded, and the judge just took it in. The judge didn't warn. He asked the parties to consider what they're saying and not saying.
Guys, he did not admonish the president.
There was no admonishment.
He didn't admonish the president. No, he warned the president that this wouldn't be tolerated going forward and they would take it very seriously. He didn't go, no.
Just wait until Trump says whatever he has to say tonight, and when he goes back into court, then the judge will admonish him.
Oh, man.
Not use language that would incite violence or civil unrest.
He did not request that the president not use language. He requested that everybody involved.
Right. Yeah. This
on both sides.
Yeah. It's like one person's holding a butcher knife, the other person is up against the wall. The cop comes in and goes, everybody who's in the room, drop whatever butcher knives they might have. Because one of the parties is crazy and goes, but he's got one. He's hiding it, All right.
Refrain from using language that's inappropriate. And by the way, that includes the witnesses for the people who are talking just as much as the president.
Yeah, Michael Cohen talking smack is the idea. Like, yeah, it's not the same thing. None of them are calling for violence. None of them are calling people to go there.
Well, I don't know where you got that because.
And this is such a dick response, by the way. This is Taco Penis saying, like, she's like, what about the picture of him swinging a bat at the DA's head? He's like, I don't know where you got that.
That was a tweet sent out by the former president.
No, it wasn't. And first of all.
And by the way, they're like, it's not a tweet. Yeah, we know he can't tweet. It's a truth. It was on Truth Social. That, like, don't make a distinction without a difference. Don't lawyer your way out of a conversation, Dick.
I bad for these guys. What are they gonna do?
Right. I mean, they're hired to be douchebags. It's like the women
hired. Are they? Who's gonna pay them?
Good point. Good point. Technically speaking, I think you can be hired and then not paid.
Yeah.
You can, and Trump has done this. You can get hired, do all the work, and not get paid. Doesn't mean you weren't hired.
That's Trump's MO.
Yep.
First of all, that picture was not swinging a baseball bat. I mean, if you want to distort the facts, go right ahead. I want to address that. Yes, it is. He was.
I listen to this. Listen to this fucking dodge. Like, dude, this is not. You can argue this in court, and a judge will tell you to go fuck yourself with this argument.
Swing a baseball bat at anyone's head. That was a picture of him showing off an American-made bat. Someone else put a picture of the district attorney next to him, and in an article posted that. That's not his article. It's not his.
And he retruthed it. He took the picture from the article and used it. By the way, no one is accusing him of being violently creative. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's saying the president has Photoshop skills or knows how to even make a collage. It's fucked up enough that he saw the picture, liked it, thought other people would like it, posted it on his own professional, personal feed on his own goddamn social media site.
Has anybody brought up that this guy is like what would happen if you ordered Vince Vaughn from Wish?
It's the Wayfair, get just what I need to return. Yeah. And I will say, there are some people where you're like, I didn't realize how heavy the filters were on Fox and Newsmax until I saw this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, some of these folks, you're like, shit, they're really nice to people on, on Newsmax.
That incites.
Guys, here's what we're going to talk about today. Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the insufficiency of this case. And I will say this to you. Today's unsealing of this indictment shows that the rule of law died in this country. Because while everyone...
If the rule of law died in this country, how do you have a fucking job?
What are you doing there?
Yeah, right. If it's dead, why is he not going to get a trial? Will he not get to answer it? Will he not get to bounce it? I mean, if they didn't bother to have a trial at all and they just scooped him up.
Just threw him in jail. If this really were a kangaroo court, he'd be in jail right now.
Right, exactly. If we were a banana republic, he'd be eating a fucking banana in jail currently.
Is not above the law. No one's below it either. And if this man's name was not Donald J. Trump, there is no scenario we'd all be here today.
That's true. You wouldn't be there and the press wouldn't be there because someone else would be representing the whatever mid-level asshole who, misrepresented business records that they charge all the time in New York. Yeah. There wouldn't be a circus because Trump made it a circus. This motherfucker, they offered to let him Zoom indictment, or Zoom his indictment proceeding? He could have done it from Mar-a-Lago. He turned it down.
He wanted this. He thought there'd be an event.
Oh, he thought there'd be a crowd of people just singing his praises, and 80% of the people there were like, fuck you, and everybody else wanted a picture of people saying fuck you. They also offered him the tunnels, because you can enter the building the same way the judges do through a reinforced tunnel. Turned it down. And by the way, they created like a white, tenting into the building so that you couldn't see past a certain point. For the Secret Service asked for it. So ultimately, even as a PR event, it sucked. All right, go do husband shit.
Do husband shit.
Yeah, and I will continue the show. Much love. Thanks for dropping by, Johnny Million.
Everybody
loves you.
Asking.
Yeah, twitch.tv/ it's Johnny Million.
Johnny Million. And on YouTube too. That's Johnny Million on YouTube.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. All right. Yeah. Well, that's excellent. And do you use Restream? Do I have to teach you how to use that? We'll figure it out. Anyways. Or use Streamlabs and you can multi-stream.
Streamlabs, yeah, shoots it out to both.
Good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Much love. I'll talk to you later, brother.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, chat room.
There he is. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that sweet? Thanks for, hold on. I'm going to bring this up. And the lovely CSNL is throwing us stuff about this. Let's see. Where's I'm looking for the fresh cuts because we know there's going to be, hold on. Yeah, here we go. I want to find some stuff that shows you guys precisely what an asshole all these people are. Go to this one. And I need to stretch this thing out. Hold on. Get a little bit. Just a little bit. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a winner, though. I want to say this in chat room. We love you. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Super chat, patreon.com/HalSparks. Also, merch. There's merch. I've made some new merch, even. There's some merch happening. Both on Teespring, which is there should be a link below on the YouTube channel. If not, there's also on my Twitch channel, there's merch and that kind of stuff. If you feel like merching it up. We got Motang, we got 5 eggs, we got my symbol, that kind of stuff. It's wearable. If you like all aspects of who you are as a human being, and you recognize that the tug and pull between the good parts of you and the bad parts of you, and the functional and the dysfunctional parts of you all matter to make you a whole person, then that's the symbol for you. The constant state of intention of improvement. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the winner of the Human Fireplug competition, a man who looks better with a YouTube play button on his nose, Sean Hannity. This and the title of this one should say it all.
We are just a few hours away.
By the way, here's the title. This is a dark era in American history. And don't think it's because it's nighttime when he's doing this.
From a very dark, a very corrosive chapter in American history.
Very dark, very corrosive, where Trump will attack the legal system again. I think it's disgusting. I think you're right.
With a sloppy DA clearly buckling to radical left-wing political pressure.
No, if he was really buckling to radical left-wing pressure, he wouldn't arrest anybody. Here's the funny thing, is according to them, everybody's radical left, but the radical left themselves don't want prisons to exist at all. As a matter of fact, they don't think that Trump should go to jail for any of this stuff, much less the sexual assault stuff that he's accused of.
Is now about to cause serious harm to our great republic.
Oh, it's serious harm. If everyone can be treated equally under the law, what chance do we have? Wait.
Tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Give or take.
Former President Donald Trump is expected to arrive at New York City's criminal court to be arraigned on a series of bizarre, far-fetched charges surrounding what was a legal non-disclosure agreement signed more than 6 years ago.
A legal non-disclosure agreement. Sean, you're a liar. You're lying. You're lying a lot right now. It's a lot. It's a big lie. It's a big silly lie. It's a big stupid lie. The NDA is not at all mentioned in the charges, never was going to be, never would be. The getting someone to sign it, not a part of the charges at all, not at all. It has nothing to do with it. It's the payment and how they hid the payment and why they hid the payment. That would be the motive in this particular opportunity and evidentiary situation.
But according to the media mob, well, we're watching the crime of the century.
No. Simmer down. We are not. We're watching sort of a mild combo of Martha Stewart and Harvey Weinstein in one fucked up giant pile of cheese.
Today, it was O.J. Simpson and the white Ford Bronco all over again. It was...
Yeah, that had style. This just looked like a rapper.
John Gotti finally being brought to justice.
Yeah, except I think people thought Gotti was charming at one point.
No man is above the law. They cheerfully exclaim in unison.
First of all, your pinky ring is hitting the fucking table, Sean, and it's aggravating. Secondly, creepy. Thirdly, also, it was not in unison. I mean, I know you like to think that the Democrats are again Hydra and we all walk in lockstep. I'm almost flattered by how they think that like Democrats are this giant unified, like we're all just cells in a giant monster they have no chance of taking down. It's kind of reassuring.
Now, of course, in less than 24 hours, Donald Trump will be
orange.
The first former president in history to be charged with a crime. But for what? Allegations of a mislabeled document between...
Mislabeled. I see. It's a oopsie. Come on, guys. He made a little boo-boo. He's being charged with a felony boo-boo.
Two private citizens, $130,000.
Turns out there was $130,000, $150,000, and then another $50,000 payment. So there's three of these.
Non-disclosure agreement, phony accusations of what, a victimless infraction?
A victimless infraction. Okay, that you can never describe sex with Donald Trump as a victimless infraction. Good Lord, a victimless infraction. Boy, the fucking, how do you talk about this shit without ever talking about this shit? When Clinton got in trouble, we said blowjob. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. He got a blowjob. It's between him and his wife and the woman he had the affair with. It's none of our goddamn business. It was over a blowjob. That's it. I don't care if she masturbated with a fucking cigar case. Whatever, that's that. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. I didn't give a shit, but I didn't go, this was a circumstance wherein, a minor saliva interaction with the appendage of someone. Get the fuck out of here.
A case that relies almost in total of the testimony from...
On your former fixer, Sean, not Trump's. That's also true, but you were client number 3 for this guy. What'd he fix for you, motherfucker? What did he fix? Don't talk shit about this dude until you're willing to tell everybody what he did on your behalf. If I may. Okay, hold on. Sean Hannity, client of Michael Cohen. Yeah. Trump attorney Michael Cohen's secret third client, Fox News host Sean Hannity. Ladies and gentlemen, if I do, it's a good time. Donald Trump's longtime attorney Michael Cohen also has been representing Fox News host Sean Hannity. It emerged in federal court on Monday. Federal Judge Kimba Wood ordered an attorney for Cohen to reveal the identity of a client that Cohen's team had withheld in earlier court documents as part of a dispute over evidence seized by the FBI from Cohen's home and office earlier this month. Cohen and Trump wanted Wood either to permit them to review the material before prosecutors got to see it or to appoint an independent special master. The judge said she could not decide on how serious to treat Cohen's and Trump's claims. Get the fuck out of here, NPR. Quit. Until she knew what clients Cohen had been representing. So, an attorney for Cohen, who had asked whether he could submit the name to the judge in a sealed envelope or a special master, had no choice but to reveal it in open court. Ladies and gentlemen, Cohen's attorney had previously identified 2 other clients, Trump and Republican fundraiser Elliot Brody. Those men were involved in cases in which Cohen allegedly arranged payments to women to keep them quiet about alleged sexual encounters. Cohen has acknowledged paying porn actress. She's not an actress who is pornographic. It's a pornographic film actress, or to get my point, it's the wrong adjective. Anyways, $130 shortly between 2016, blah, blah, blah. Alleged issue liaison with Trump in 2006. Cohen also reportedly arranging a deal with Brody, and model Shara Bachard was paid $1.6 million. Also, there's a belief, and it probably will come up in the trial, and this is going to be one of the scary ones. One of these checks, if you'll recall, had to do with a check that went to Brody that was actually to pay one of Trump's dalliances who had an abortion. So the idea was that that Brody was the liaison by which Trump paid off a woman to have an abortion. That might be one of the checks they were talking about. Get ready for that to come back out. Denies any secretary. There's no indication that whether Hannity might have been involved in such an arrangement. He issued a statement on Monday that he said his discussions with Cohen had never involved anyone else. Michael Cohen has never represented me in any matter. I never retained him, received an invoice, or paid legal fees. I have occasionally had brief discussions with him about legal questions which I wanted his input and perspective. I assume these conversations were confidential, but to be absolutely clear, they never involved any matter between me and a third party. Because he never followed through with it, or because Cohen just said, my advice is pay her off. Hannity has been a champion of Trump and Cohen's on his show and a critic of the FBI and Justice Department. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich said on Hannity's show last week that the FBI raid on Cohen was like the abuses of the Gestapo. They're big fans of that phrase. Sean, this guy used to ask this guy for advice. He won't say about what, though.
Convicted, admitted liar.
Who you once sought advice from, I guess, on what? How to lie legally?
A felon by the name of Michael Cohen.
Who gave you advice involving what exactly? What did you ask him about? If he's a piece of shit and you regret even bringing it up, why wouldn't you say what he asked, what you asked him about? Why in the world would you hide that?
A case that has never been tried before using a new legal theory that was...
No. Lots of people get busted for falsifying business records to avoid either payment of taxes or to avoid it showing up as an election expense.
Was never applied
to hide it from
to anyone else, and a case that looks to be well past the statute of limitations.
Nope. They found new material that he was hiding it, and that's why he's being charged with hiding it for the commission of another crime. Not the actual payment itself. You might know the payment's there for a long time. You might have even thought it was like, well, it's not ethical, but it's not illegal. And then you find out a new piece of information like, oh, actually, it was illegal. Now that we found that, that's the evidence of the crime, not the check itself. Fuck you.
Now, the charges are so pathetically weak that the DOJ, the FEC, Bob Mueller, the prior Manhattan District Attorney, all declined to bring a case.
Yeah, because they didn't have Alan Weisselberg's testimony, did they?
And former congressman, by the way, who voted to impeach Donald Trump, this is what he tweeted. We're going to indict a former president for essentially misdemeanor falsification of business records.
No, we're not.
We are crossing the Rubicon for that. That seems like effing weak sauce.
Well, it might seem that way until you see the volume of charges, how common it is in New York in and of itself, and that somehow this dude got to skate it.
Anyway, make no mistake, what we are witnessing now, this is nothing but a blatant act of political persecution.
Yes, all right. Get that tramp stamp tattooed now.
Unfolding right before your eyes.
Over the course of many years. It's a long unfolding. Jesus Christ.
From a repulsive left-wing hack who had promised to take down Donald Trump on the campaign trail.
And New Yorkers all resoundingly said, finally.
Now, as the former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, Andy McCarthy, pointed out, Bragg would have not brought these charges against any defendant not named Donald Trump.
That's because Donald Trump's the only person who committed this felony on a national level using New York as one of the conduits for doing it. Nobody, yes. Any other defendant wouldn't be defending on these particular charges because they didn't do this. The district attorney of Colorado would not be bringing these charges against anybody who wasn't named Ted Bundy because Ted Bundy's the guy who did it.
After all, Bragg barely brings charges against actual criminals, violent offenders, rapists.
Melissa Klein. Bragg has downgraded 52% of felony cases to misdemeanors. Sorry, say that again. What does he do?
Barely brings charges against actual criminals, violent offenders, rapists, robbers. More than half get off without any felony conviction.
All right. Love how he throws rapist in there. Like it's that robbers versus burglars versus armed robbers versus, that kind of shit. The distinction made there between, by the way, downgraded the 52% of cases to misdemeanors in multi cases. Okay, this is New York Post. Melissa Klein. Bragg downgraded. Okay. This is from November. This is her article. Here you go. New York City convictions plummet. Downgraded charges surge under Manhattan DA Bragg. Now, that's an interesting thing. You would think that convictions plummet would make you think that they're losing cases, right? That they're bringing cases, but they're losing them, as opposed to they're not actually, they're pleading people out. Yeah. And downgraded charges surge under Manhattan. Okay, there we go. Soft on crime, DA Bragg has downgraded more than half of his felony cases to misdemeanors, while also managing to lose half of the felony cases that do reach court. Okay, so that's where he's since taking office on January 1st, Bragg has downgraded 52% of felony cases to misdemeanors, compared to 39% in all of 2019. Between 2013 and 2020, under Cy Vance, the percentage of cases the office downgraded had never exceeded 40%, according to the data made public by the DA's office. Now, granted, during this period, there are cases that are coming up that may have been related to the George Floyd protests and stuff, and they've been waiting to go to trial. They've been waiting, and they've just like fucking broom these assholes. And if they do anything else, they're on probation. When serious felony charges are brought, Bragg's office wins a conviction just 51% of the time, down from 68% in 2019, the last year before the pandemic disrupted our court system. He's declined to prosecute 35% more felony cases this year in 2019, with 1,119 so far in 2022, compared to 828 3 years ago. Those are the decline to prosecute. Okay. The DA's office requested bail in only 49% of felony cases a year, compared to 69% in 2019. Maybe 2019 there were more violent crimes in this list than never mind. Misdemeanor convictions also spiraled down 29%. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Case by case is not saying it. All right. Bragg, who campaigned last year on the promise of criminal justice reform, proudly displays the number on his website, the only one of the city's 5 district attorneys to do so. The people in charge right now want to talk about gun violence and getting these shootings down, said founder of Victims' Rights New York. But I wonder how many of these incidents where the charges were downgraded or dismissed or dropped involved guns or weapons, and how are we going to eradicate this kind of violence when people like Alvin Bragg are in charge? Well, unless you know, you can't bring it up. If somebody is out on, if they got their felony gun possession downgraded to a misdemeanor, and then they were let out and then they shot somebody, that's a case to be made. But you can't just come out and assume that these aren't new people committing these things when you don't know how. But I wonder. Well, keep wondering. Harrison added that Bragg really needs to stop the public defender mentality and do his job and enforce the law and prosecute crime correctly. Bragg issued a controversial day one memo after taking his office. Okay, this is one of the cases where they downgraded felony charges, including armed robberies and drug dealing, and dropped some misdemeanors. A short time later, career criminal William Rowland was busted for threatening a store owner with a knife and charged only with a misdemeanor, leading a judge to stunningly tell him he should feel lucky because of Bragg's new policies. Bragg reversed a couple of... Okay, but maybe he should, but, and God knows why they're using this as the fear story. I can't imagine, New York Post. But that said, that only makes sense. This part right here, career criminal William Rowland was busted for threatening a store. He should feel lucky because of Bragg's new policy. You have to follow this up with, and then he went on to kill someone. Let's see if that happens. Bragg reversed a couple of policies in February, including one, once again, allowing commercial robberies committed with knives to be prosecuted as felonies. Oh, I see. If you have a knife, it's a misdemeanor. That's... I would say that is a stupid distinction. The only difference is that it makes it a narrower violence circle. because nobody throws a knife at somebody and it travels through somebody's fucking wall and kills them while they're having cornflakes. So far this year, 1,210 felony cases have resulted in a prison sentence, 29% drop from 1,699. Blah, blah, blah. Anguished Manhattan mom said she was traumatized by the outcome of the case against 4 defendants in the 2018 murder of her Army vet son, Hasten Korea. 2 got plea deals from Bragg's office, and 1 pleaded to second-degree murder, and the 4th was convicted of gang assault at a trial earlier this month. What were the plea deals, though? Did they get let out? We're not getting justice because the closure, the victims just left out. There's no, but okay. Bragg was accused of giving a sweetheart plea deal in August to Justin Washington, accused of raping a teenage relative, only for Washington to be arrested on a new sex crime the next month. The DA's office said he would seek a greater sentence in the rape case. Get out of jail. This is it. For facing just 30 days for rape by LAX DA, goes on alleged, you can tell I live in LA, goes on alleged sex crime rampage. Bragg did come down hard on bodega worker Jose Alba. That was a big reaction that they had because Jose Alba killed this guy attacking him in his store because he shot him. The guy was unarmed, but he was beating him, and he's older, and the guy was younger, and blah, blah, blah. And then they tried to go after him, and then that was that. Real question at this point is, why do you have a DA's office? What's the DA's office there for? The guy is avowedly anti-punishment. He's avowedly anti-responsibility. Those numbers reflect that. I will say that these guys are kind of getting what they're wanting because he's now charging this crime, and to appear balanced, he's going to have to go after other people.
They get a free pass, an opportunity to terrorize more innocent New Yorkers. Crime keeps rising, out of control. In recent days, there was a gas station stabbing in Manhattan. A journalist jumped on the subway. A woman stabbed.
A journalist jumped on the subway.
On the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's New York.
And an off-duty police officer beaten by a biker. These are all random, high-profile attacks, by the way, which happen every day, likely carried out by career criminals who will probably never see the inside of a prison.
Again, if they are, then you've got a case. But if they aren't, who the fuck did it? If you can't bring it up, you go, this person was jumped by a guy who was out on bail. This guy was, this woman was attacked by somebody who was at that one case that this would be this. You have to make evidence like this. This dude who, and again, whatever, let's assume the details are true in this one, right? Man facing 30 days for rape by lax DA goes on alleged sex crime. That this guy who got got to plea down for sex with a minor, for accused of raping a teenage relative. That guy, I guess that's the same person. It's hard to tell with this article, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're saying. That this guy goes out and does something. That's the case you make against the DA. Now, the DA gave him a plea, may have offered a plea deal or had a standard. Bragg was accused. And again, Bragg was accused of giving a sweetheart plea deal to August in August to Justin Washington, accused of. Did he though? What's the plea deal? Did the judge do it or did the DA do it? But then while he was out, let's see. All right, news 6. Yeah. Okay, this is the case that they're saying. Okay, so sex. Let's dig down. This is the New York Post. Let's see what they did. Then attacks 5 others. That's that guy. Deranged fiend who secured a sweetheart plea deal. Okay, a man accused of raping his teenage relative secured a sweetheart plea deal from Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, and then went on to allegedly he had lunch with him and he just gave it to him, and then went on to allegedly sexually terrorize 5 people in the Bronx just a month later. The Post has learned Justin Washington was promised a plum 30-day jail sentence along with 5 years of probation after he agreed in August to plead down to a charge of coercion in his Manhattan rape case. But just a week before he was set to be sentenced Wednesday, Washington allegedly went on a sex crime spree, attacking 4 women and a man near the homeless shelter where he was living in the Bronx. After finding out about the September 15th arrest, prosecutors with the Manhattan District Attorneys said they were reconsidering the sentence recommended with the plea deal, which some cops said should have never been offered in the first place. Really? Did some cops say there should? How does a man who rapes an innocent teenage girl walk the streets to sexually attack 5 more innocent people, including a homeless woman? One Manhattan cop fumed. Another police source scoffed at the 30-day sentence, pointing out that the original charge of rape Washington faced would have gotten him locked up for 25 years if he was convicted. That is a sweet deal. He went from rape 1 and facing 25 in jail, which is hard time, to 30 days. What a joke. The second-degree coercion charge Washington agreed to plead to also carries a maximum penalty of 16 months to 4 years behind bars, much more than the 30 days offered by the DA. These were very traumatizing crimes, and he shouldn't have been allowed to walk the streets. What about the teenager? A police source said, adding the DA should be coming up with programs for victims, not criminals. I agree with that part of it. The problem is, okay, here you go. Emily Tuttle, a spokesperson for Bragg's office, and clearly Bragg's was the one who offered this guy personally because they're cousins, I guess. That's what you're led to believe. Our experienced sex crimes prosecutors conducted a thorough investigation. We're in regular contact with the survivor's family throughout the case. Based on the evidence, we determined that this was an appropriate plea to spare the young survivor from having to testify while holding Washington accountable for his conduct. As the investigation into this week's extremely disturbing allegations in the Bronx continues, we will determine whether to ask for a lengthier jail sentence. Washington first landed behind bars on February 23rd after a teenage relative told police he'd raped her while the two were watching television in East Harlem. He was hit with charges of first-degree rape, first-degree sexual assault, and forcibly touching, and thrown in jail at a measured $25,000 cash bail or $50,000 bond, despite prosecutors asking for a judge to set it at $100,000. About 3 weeks later, and by the way, I guess he made bail or bond? About 3 weeks later, and that's the judge, that's the DA. About 3 weeks later, prosecutors reduced Washington charges to third-degree rape after they determined they didn't have enough evidence. Okay. And he was sprung from jail when a judge agreed to reduce his bail to $12,000. That's what it was. So they brought, the judge reduced his bail after he'd been there for a little while. And when he got out, was no prior arrests, made all of his court appearances, but last Thursday, less than a week before he was to be sentenced, he allegedly used his last days as a free man to commit a string of attacks. The spree started at 8:20 a.m. when he crawled into an 18-year-old man's window, put his hands in the man's underwear, demanded more money while gripping the victim's buttocks. Can I get $1, bro? Washington allegedly asked the victim, who obliged the request. Here's $1. Stop grabbing my buttocks. Please go out the same window you came in. The creep refused to take the dollar bill, but then asked for it again after telling the victim, never mind, you're not understanding, and fleeing through the window. Is a dollar code for butt stuff? 40 minutes later, Washington allegedly crept up the fire escape of a building on Davidson Avenue and began banging on the apartment window of a 26-year-old woman who was at home with her 9-month-old son at the time. When the woman opened her curtains, she saw Washington masturbating on her fire escape, prosecutors alleged. Half an hour later, Washington allegedly burst into a 49-year-old woman's apartment in the same building and attempted to rape her. He pushed the woman down on her bed, pulled up her nightgown, climbed on top of her, and masturbated as he asked, "Can I get $1?" Can I get... Yeah, I know. $250K on my... that's the same line that's going through my... This is so fucking weird. Yeah, guy is out of his mind on drugs. Absolutely. As the sicko pushed the woman's leg apart and smelled them, she bit his hand, scratched him, and then whacked him in the head with a hammer. All right. 15 minutes later... What happened after he got hit in the head with a hammer? Did he leave? 15 minutes later, Washington went to an apartment on Aqueduct Avenue, slipped his hand through a woman's bathroom window, stole her underwear, and then began masturbating, prosecutors said. The disturbing rampage ended about 5 minutes later when Washington allegedly found his final victim, a homeless woman who was sleeping in the lobby of the Aqueduct Avenue building. He was caught on surveillance footage molesting the woman, pulling down her pants, touching her buttocks, and masturbating. The 26-year-old woman who had caught Washington allegedly masturbating on her fire escape said the incident left her shaken up at Bragg's decision to give him a plea deal before it happened. I'm not surprised he was out on the streets. Isn't that what they do? Again, he said, she said in the first case, which is awful. And if he's guilty of that, which he probably is, creepy, then he should go to jail. But again, in a situation of he said, she said, where they're relatives and he's at the house and she says this, it's impossible to charge. Like if they go through the whole process, she's going to have to, so they make this decision, give him 30 days and probation. If he fucks around again, he goes in for 4 years, or they upgrade the charges and off he goes. Cool. That they're going to deal with shit like that all the time. But the idea that they're somehow responsible for the next 5 things where he's jacking off on a fucking fire escape and is absolutely high as fuck. This reeks of that whole like Dukakis nonsense where they were like, he has a dollar fetish. He's got a thing for Washington. Yeah. Let's just hope he doesn't get a Jefferson fetish. But But the idea that you know, this is like, he sprung the guy out of jail and gave him a bat and told him to go kill people.
Thanks to the policies of Alvin Bragg.
Okay, again, Trump was accused of similar activity, and part of the reason they didn't charge Trump is because it ended up being he said, she said. The argument, the E. Jean Carroll case has has more witnesses because it happened in a store than that guy's trial, the first case against him with the girl. More evidence in that regard. And they didn't charge Trump, and if they had, these motherfuckers would be like, they're going after the political, they don't like success, commies.
Who is too busy now going after Donald Trump. But again, Bragg's watch and under his watch and this witch hunt.
And then you watch a witch hunt. If you're watching your witch, by the way, and you can tell, like, look at New York, man. It's a fucking hellhole. Like, you can barely see it for the, you know, like, the lights kind of hide the fact that it's a crater, big smoke.
Against
crater.
Trump is not about keeping people in New York safe or secure. It's about keeping a campaign promise and appeasing his extreme left-wing base and persecuting political opposition, Donald Trump, and criminalizing political differences, all while attempting to hurt Donald Trump's reputation and direct.
Yeah, why would it hurt his reputation? What would exactly? I may have misunderstood when you were talking about the charge earlier, Sean. What was the charge then? Why would it ruin his reputation? Why would a clerical error ruin his reputation? How does that even happen? Does anybody? What?
His 2024 election campaign, and now the U.S. has entered
a lot of this, a lot of sniffing tonight, Sean.
A new age of political retribution. So if you're Hunter Biden, oh, let's see, there's evidence on your laptop of you smoking crack or hiring prostitutes or.
Yeah, we know he did that though. And again, Sean, buddy, are you? First of all, you're gonna go hardcore against people who use drugs illegally? What about off-label use of pharmaceuticals? What about transporting European versions of drugs into the United States for personal use as a stimulant when the ingredients in the European versions have been outlawed in the United States because you can use them to make meth, and having a drawer full of them at your fucking office? Like, what about Rush fucking Limbaugh, Sean? And if you're saying Rush should have done fucking time, also, you do realize that you can't convict someone of smoking crack from a picture of them smoking anything. You do realize that, right? And you do realize what a horrifying situation we would be in legally if you could.
Laundering money, or maybe skirting on taxes, or lying.
Maybe skirting on taxes. So you want to criminalize skirting on taxes, do you? Cool. Talk to your representative, Sean.
On a gun application in a Republican state, does that mean now you can thank Alvin Bragg if you get charged with a crime?
No, you can. I mean, here's the thing. Is it really a lie on a gun form if you're doing it, you know, because of your Second Amendment rights in a red state? People in red states, especially the politicians, don't think you should even have to have a background check. So you think they give a fuck if you lie on one? It's not a lie if they make you lie, right,
Your
John?
name is Jim Biden, Jill Biden, or anyone else from the Biden family or the Clinton family. Well, you can thank Alvin Bragg if you now end up arrested on a, quote, trumped-up charge. And when
Okay. Yeah, if they have to defend themselves in court, that's their ass, I guess. Okay, and?
Joe leaves office, or should I say the big guy, he's likely going to want to hire some good lawyers himself, because this new era of political justice, if you want to call it that,
I do.
will not begin and end at the criminal court in Manhattan.
No. It will be a standard. It just won't need to be used very often.
Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch stated, quote,
Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch, who is not a lawyer or a judge or even a paralegal.
You can be sure that there are prosecutors all across Florida and Texas right now looking for a state law hook into the Biden family.
Knock yourself the fuck out.
And if they're not doing their jobs.
Oh, because Tom Fitton thinks that their job is political persecution, not actually upholding the law. Gotcha. Okay.
Well, we should have equal justice, right? Equal application of our laws. The former chief counsel for judicial nominations might.
If New York can turn a routine settlement of a business dispute 7 years ago into a felony, yeah, a routine settlement of a business dispute. That's what it is. I think our Republican AGs and DAs should get creative.
Davis, he told the Post, quote, if New York can turn a routine settlement of a business dispute
a business dispute that involved
years ago into a felony, I think Republican AGs and DAs should get creative.
Yes. I think they should too. Where's this fucking love child that Trump has?
So I hope this is, all worth it to Alvin Bragg and all the cheerleaders in the Democratic Party and the cheerleaders in the media mob, the far-left New Yorkers who elected him on
the media mob. What would do you think I'd be, what does it take for me to get made in the media mob at this point?
A promise to go after Trump. That was a specific promise.
Right. And New Yorkers en masse went, good, yes, do that. Fuck that guy. He always gets away with it.
And I hope he enjoys his 15 minutes of fame and his celebrity status with the media mob. Because Bragg's idiotic, small-minded prosecution, this will likely all backfire. In fact, it already is backfiring.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yep, I agree. It's going to totally backfire. I mean, before they even get to, they're not even going to have a trial. It's certainly not one where Trump will have to admit that he had more affairs because his stupid fucking lawyer brought up the fact that Trump pays off these kind of situations all the time. And to make it clear that this was not a campaign finance violation, he's going to have to say, yes, I paid for other women to keep their trap shut regarding sexual liaisons and shit like that during times when I wasn't campaigning. And those would be? Well, I can't say. Well, if you can't say, then how do we know this isn't the first time you've done it? Well, because I have. To whom? Well, how many do I have to tell you? Well, all of them, because we're trying to establish a pattern, dum-dum.
Donald Trump raised a whopping $7.5 million, apparently.
Ooh, whopping. I thought he was a billionaire. Fuck that. Lose that much run for the bus.
We got an update tonight since news of the indictment broke, with over 1 million coming from first-time donors.
All of them fresh accounts in Dagestan.
Also a report today that since the indictment, close to 20,000 people have signed on to volunteer and help President Trump and his 2024 campaign.
Yeah, same people signing up again. And
that's not all. Look at these brand new polls. Look at Trafalgar. That's Robert Cahaley's group. Trump has gained 12 points, gone up 20% in the Republican primary, and is now well over 50%.
Just saying, it's gonna get pretty dicey over there. They're gonna have to run the guy again, and he was less popular when he ran the second time. I guess he's gonna have to lose the popular vote for the third time and the Electoral College for the second time.
Poll from Yahoo and YouGov has him at 57%. Matt Towery's Insider Advantage also has Trump at 57%. 80% now believe,
if you round up,
that the government has been weaponized. Now Trump is now running neck and neck with Biden in a general election, and
neck and neck. And so I guess it'll come down to who actually votes, won't it?
Beating outright Kamala Harris handily in a head-to-head matchup. Bragg's in City.
Wait a minute. So all this shit's going down. He believes the DOJ is being weaponized against him. He's the only safe bet the whole country's got, for otherwise America dies. And Sleepy Joe is standing right next to him going, "What's up, man?" And he's bragging about beating the vice president because of volume. So sad. Oh my gosh, Therese, thank you so much for the super chat. Bless you. And Pam, thank you as well. And Bethany and Bald Thanos. Johnny can't leave. Johnny had to leave.
This attempt to get Donald Trump might well catapult him right back to the White House. And hey, Sean Hannity here.
Hey, it might catapult him right to the White House. Or the big house. The Hooskow. The cement condo. Trump Tower, Rikers. I'm for it. At some point, we just got to put like Trump Tower signs on all the big prisons in the country. I mean, it's a meme waiting to happen. Honestly. All right. Hi, you're watching Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. I started a little earlier today because we were going through this kind of this stuff, and I'm just having the best time with you guys. Oh, I'm having the best time, I must say. Now, there are. Let me see if I can. Let's see. We saw Janine yesterday. It's so hard. Okay, so let's go through what the case was, if we may. After I get through this.
Can drinking water before bed burn 46
No,
pounds in 2 weeks?
Will not.
If you
Can't
are
do it.
struggling.
Stop it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, guys, there we go. Come on now. I love this guy, by the way, like he's right out of Central Casting. So good, you know. Wow. It's so good. He's got his hat on backwards. I want to call him Scoop or something else, or I'll think of another name, like Scoop or anyways, he looks just like a reporter from the back. This is Alvin Bragg. These are the graphics. People were up, like, it was funny, before he came out, that reporters were up taking like really close high-res pictures of it so that they could post the graphics online and on, you know, the news for their.
Good afternoon.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us here today.
We didn't have much choice. You picked the day, dude.
Earlier this afternoon, Donald Trump was arraigned on a New York Supreme Court indictment.
Sorry, sometimes you get so excited you can't control yourself.
Returned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts.
Kneecapped.
Of falsifying business records in the first degree. Under New York state law, it is a felony to falsify business records with intent to defraud and an intent to conceal another crime.
Ooh, and that's the two big parts of it. That's what makes it a felony. Intent to defraud and conceal another crime. And both are mentioned in every count of the indictment.
That is exactly what this case is about. 34 false statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
That's what I was talking about, where this kind of language will come back to bite him if he just lets violent criminals off, and it will affect him in the election. The irony is that will affect that part of whether he gets reelected more than the Trump stuff. Everybody's like, I'm fucking great. Glad he finally went after Trump. But, you know, what about that guy?
The defendant repeatedly made false statements on New York business records. He also caused others to make false statements.
That's the key. Ladies and gentlemen, that would be the part where the crime, the clock on the statute of limitations started ticking anew. Because when they looked at these records of what he'd said and what he'd told Michael Cohen to do and the like, they didn't really know, I don't think, how much like Alan Weisselberg was involved, and they focused largely on Michael Cohen because they could get him at the time, and Trump was president, and they kind of tapped the brakes on going after Weisselberg until they finally gathered in, you know, the taxes and all that shit came out, and they're like, oh shit, right here on page 12. And so they went after him and got him, and they went after the Trump organization and they got them, and they, in the process, in their discovery and in their subpoenas and in their search warrants, they found other shit that said, oh, this was much worse initially than he said it was or we thought it was. And so we're going after him. That's what started it. It's one of the worst days of Donnie's life. I agree. And he's had some shitty ones. What is the kid's name? Trump's baby? Oh, we don't know. I'm gonna go with. I mean, we got Don and Eric. What does he call it? Wouldn't it be funny if his name was John Barron?
The defendant claimed that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017.
Turns out they were illegal services. What do you?
This simply was not true.
Much like most of what Trump says.
And it was a false statement that
is that me squeaking? Or?
The defendant made month after month in 2017. April, May, June, and so on through the rest of the year. For 9 straight months, the defendant held documents in his hand containing this key lie, that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017. And he personally signed checks for payments to Michael Cohen for each of these 9 months. In total, the grand jury found there were 34 documents with this critical false statement.
By the way, part of the timing on this that some people seem confused on is the 2017, because Trump was already president at that point. Okay, the reason is because Cohen paid these people out of his own pocket during the campaign and all the way up through the election. And when Trump was safe in office, that's when he reimbursed Michael Cohen. Does that make sense? That's what makes it even more like an obvious and egregious crime that he was aware that he was committing.
Why did Donald Trump repeatedly make these false statements?
Because he's a lying piece of shit? No, that can't be it.
The evidence will show that he did so to cover up crimes relating to the 2016 election.
See, I was going to say that. Right after lying piece of shit. Yeah, you're right.
Donald Trump, executives at the publishing company American Media Incorporated,
David Pecker,
Mr. Cohen, and others,
Sean Hannity,
agreed in 2015 to a catch and kill scheme. That is, a scheme to buy and suppress negative information to help Mr. Trump's chance of winning the election. As part of this scheme, Donald Trump and others made 3 payments to people who claimed to have negative information about Mr. Trump.
That we know of.
Make these payments, they set up shell companies, and they made yet more false statements, including, for example, in AMI, American Media Incorporated's business records. One of the 3 people that they paid to keep quiet was a woman named Stormy Daniels.
Woman who calls herself Stormy Daniels, but still, Stephanie Clifford, whatever. Yeah, Stormy Daniels. I like Stormy Daniels.
Less than 2 weeks before the presidential election, Michael Cohen wired $130,000 to Stormy Daniels' lawyer. That payment was to hide damaging information from the voting public. The participant scheme was illegal. The scheme violated New York election law.
That's where Michael Cohen made a contribution to the campaign of Donald Trump, which is, a contribution in kind or because it was in the form of that. And then since Trump paid him back, that's what made it sort of a RICO scheme.
It makes it a crime to conspire to promote.
Transcript of the hearing is out now. Sweet. He didn't say much.
A candidacy by unlawful means. The $130,000 wire payment exceeded the federal campaign contribution cap. And the false statements in AMI's books violated New York law. That is why Mr. Trump made false statements about his payments to Mr. Cohen. He could not simply say that the payments were a reimbursement for Mr. Cohen's payments to Stormy Daniels. To do so, to make that true statement, would have been to admit a crime. So instead, Mr. Trump said that he was paying Mr. Cohen for fictitious legal services in 2017 to cover up actual crime committed the prior year.
Hold on one second. I'll be right back. I'm going to try and find something. Hold on. Give me this. Okay, sorry. I thought my iPad was in the other room and I was going to grab it and whatever. But okay, sorry. Back where we were, because I thought I could bring it up on there, but I will continue to look while he's talking. Hold on. Unless somebody wants to throw it in the staff Discord. You guys, if anybody can find the transcript of today's hearing, that'd be great. I expect though we will get transcription theater from everybody from Rachel Maddow tonight, because she's on at 8 to cover this.
And in order to get Michael Cohen his money back, they planned one last false statement. In order to complete the scheme, they planned to mischaracterize the repayments to Mr. Cohen as income to the New York State tax authorities. The conduct I just described, and that which was charged by the grand jury, is felony criminal conduct in New York State. True and accurate business records are important everywhere, to be sure. They are all the more important in Manhattan, the financial center of the world. Yeah. That is why we have a history in the Manhattan DA's office of vigorously enforcing white-collar crime. My office, including the talented prosecutors you saw at arraignment earlier today, has charged hundreds of felony falsifying business records. This charge, it can be said, is the bread and butter of our white-collar work. And fraud presents itself in all different forms here in Manhattan.
By the way, yeah, these charges that he's getting busted for are, but for the campaign aspect of them, are common as fuck in New York.
We've charged falsifying.
Oh, Trump is speaking? Should we go there? Okay, hold on. All right, give me a second. Because I was expecting him to be later than this. All right, here we go. Let's do it. I'm Donald Trump, and I'm very upset about my whole thing. Hold on. Donald Trump. Whoops. I'll find it. Hold on one second. There he is. Okay. There we go. They got him. They've got him on his own site. It's still upcoming. Why would his own, well, because I was about to say, why is his own site late to get it up there? It's because he's a fucking asshole, that's why. At 8:15? Was he just saying it someplace else? Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find, hold on. Let's see. See if we can find it. Oh, thanks. Oh, that's okay. That's a good one. Let's just start. Let's see. There you go. There you go. Open link. Yep. Excellent. All right. And then I think, is this pages or whatever? I see. Oh yeah, that's the I have those pages. That's the indictment, not the transcript of the actual thing. Hold on one second. We'll see if we can find them in here. Don't worry. I ordered you to gag. Prayer conference call? Yeah. I'm trying to dig it up as we go. Trump in court, live special coverage. One on Fox 5. Trump pleading guilty. Watch DA speaks regarding, there you go, watch left. Yeah, according to this, he won't start until 5:15 my time. So we have another hour. If you guys saw where he's speaking, please pass it along. Let's see, in the chat, does anybody, hold on, I'm going to bring the chat up real quick, if I may. Is it here? Whoops. Just going to open this guy up. Because, man, was it just a tarmac blurb? Yeah. Rudy's been awfully quiet. Is he ill? No, he's just got his own problems, and Trump's not going to pay him to say anything. So he's actually, no, Rudy said some shit. We've had, I just skipped over they've been calling on Rudy a bunch lately to blather about this bullshit. I just was, you know, he didn't make the cut in a lot of these things. Yeah, let's see. Go Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, I think. Hold on. Yeah, here you go. Like, I'll give you. Here you go. This is, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize, but yeah, I accidentally asked for it. This is Giuliani. President Trump's political persecution would, quote, never get past the Court of Appeals. Why? Because he put judges in and that they'll run interference for him, you dipshit?
Can drinking water before bed burn 46 pounds in 2 weeks?
Dumbass,
if you are struggling.
We've got America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani. Then we're
going to... the Oscar mayor.
Go back to MTG is down outside of Center Street. Jack Posovic's there. We'll get to that in a second. Mayor Giuliani, here's the question people have.
What's with your face?
You were the greatest mayor of the greatest city in American history.
As a Chicagoan and as someone who's grown to love Los Angeles and who, I have to be honest, Las Vegas grew on me and